Hello guys, welcome to the last Fat Booty Friday of the month, and probably for like a while. I wanted to get into glute activations because last week I was explaining what glute activations were properly, because I eventually figured out what it was, because I remember in the other video I didn't explain it accurately. So what is glute activation? Glute activation is basically activating your glute muscle so that it does most of the work for you when you do glute exercises, instead of your quads and your hamstrings and your lower back kicking in. So the reason why you need to activate your glutes is so that your quads, your hamstrings and your lower back don't kick in when you do particular exercises, and your glutes actually do most of the work that they're supposed to. Why would you need to glute activate? Because we sit a lot and lie down a lot. I'm guilty of both. So it's more important that you don't do that. And if you are already guilty of doing that, your glutes are likely to be lazy because of that.
So in my intro that I lost as I was editing my video, I mentioned the importance of why you should activate your glutes. So if you're doing a glute bridge, for example, and your glutes are not activated, you're likely to injure your lower back, or just have your quads and your hamstrings do all the work, and then your glutes don't grow. So if you want your glutes to grow, you need them to be activated so they can pick up the slack from your hamstrings and your quads. That's why some people, when they do glute workouts like squats and glute bridges, their thighs grow but their glutes don't grow, and then they wonder why. It's because their glutes are not activated. So you need to activate your glutes before you add weight, so that they are awake to pick up the slack. Because if you don't and you just go straight into your weighted workout, then what will happen is your quads and your hamstrings are going to pick up the slack, and then they're the muscles that are going to grow instead of your glutes.
So here we have kneeling weighted squats. So I have a 4 kg dumbbell on each shoulder, and as you can see, I'm using my glutes to lift up, and I'm squeezing on the lift, and I'm pushing my pelvis forward and squeezing my glutes. You're going to do 20 of these for 3 sets, and you want to make sure you squeeze with every lift. So here we have a regular standing squat. As I've mentioned to you guys before, form is extremely important. Before you add any weight, you want to make sure your knees don't go over your toes and you are pushing up with your heels. That's why I'm wearing flat shoes instead of like active shoes, because most active shoes are at a tilt. And you're going to do 10 of these because they are quite difficult, because they do use your a lot of your energy for 3 sets. Yeah. Up next we have a weighted fire hydrant. I'm using a 4 kg this time instead of the 2 kg like last time. And the only reason I'm using so much weight is because I have activated my glutes, so I do feel the contraction in the right place. You're going to do 10 on each leg, 10 or 20 depending on what your body can cope with. So here we have what they call froggers, or lying hip abductors. I'm using 2 resistance bands, as you can see, my extra heavy and my heavy, to add resistance. You're going to do 20 of these per set, which I have done, and you want to control the movement and feel it in your glutes, not in your hamstrings or in your knees. Last but not least, we have a deadlift, a dumbbell deadlift. and you want to make sure your back is straight. As you can see, my back is as straight as I can possibly keep it, and you want to squeeze on the way up. You really want to feel it in your glutes and maybe a little bit in your hamstrings, but not too much. You want to feel it more in your glutes than you do in your hamstrings. You're going to do 20 of these per set. See you guys on Monday.